G'day everyone, Jason Nunn, Fisherman's Warehouse, Tuckerwalk, Marks Point. This Friday's fishing report, of course, it's the long weekend and NRL Grand Final weekend. A lot of footy favourites be out there doing their tips for Sunday. Looks pretty good. And obviously, we're all Novocastrians. We want to see our women's team, the Knights, really get up there and beat Parramatta. So that'd be fantastic to see the girls get out there and have a bit of a crack. They've been going really, really well. Not sure if I like Penrith or Eels. Either way, I think it's just going to be a great game. But it's a great weekend to get out there. Look, blue sky at the moment, strong southerly winds. It's around about 25 knots or better. It will be still blowing tomorrow, but it will start to taper off as we get into Sunday. The swell tomorrow in and around about 3 metres or better. Rock fishing warning. Please don't go down on the rocks if that swell's as big as what it is, and you need to really safeguard where you're going to get. Must wear a life jacket. Basically, I think you've got to tide around about midday, 1.7. So you're really going to need to be aware of that. That's going to be a lot of water moving around. On Sunday, we went out to the shelf as we sort of made the prediction, maybe a yellowfin? No, didn't happen. Went out to about 1,000 fathoms. A lot of blue bottles out wide. There was a big band of blue bottles everywhere. So, look, again, we're starting to see a little bit of summer offshore. It's just got to get itself back to the coast, I reckon. Water on the shelf, over the shelf, is about 9.5 degrees and a nice blue in and around about that 600 fathom line. But back on the edge, it was tannin colour. It was black, nearly brown. It was terrible. So on that edge at the moment, I don't know what it is. It's just a band of terrible looking water. Once you get in on the farm, down on the Texas, we were hearing some great reports over the radio. Water got back into 9.5 degrees and started to get some colour. Bag limit catches are kings on the Texas. Last Sunday, live baiting was proving to be the pick, but of course jigging will work well. Perch and snapper are also getting caught. But up on the farm up here, a lot of barracuda around, and I got a screenshot on Monday from one of the guys who was there, and you can just see a big layer on the actual screenshot on the sounder of these barracuda. Still getting some nice snapper out there through them, and nannies and those typical deep water fish, but a lot of barracuda. And that was the same report that we got on those inshore reefs down around Catho and Casey. Barracuda mixed in with these fish. Still snapper there, some beautiful flathead, and some very nice tail are getting caught on these inshore reefs, but you just got to move around from the barracuda. A lot of salmon off the coast at the moment. Last week, the beach fishing wasn't so great. This week, it's improved for salmon, big schools, and particularly as we get through September, moving into October, most of the salmon will start to move out and get along our coastline. So some big salmon around, a lot of fish around that 2 to 3 kilo mark, but a light at the end of the tunnel. There's a few brims starting to get around now as well. A lot of salmon been in the channel, but there was a lot of salmon at the back of the lake, particularly on Monday and Tuesday. A lot of salmon schools over toward Kelvin Bay Fishing Point. Some quite big fish there, I might add. A few tailor mixed in with them, but it's just getting to that period where we're starting to see a lot more of these schooling fish as we move well and truly into spring. A few crabs getting caught, quite a few mulloway around for the guys that are really keen. And there's been some big reports of some big fish getting caught up around Stockton as well. If you're going to get into the channel in the lake, some great reports of flathead. Wayne Flanning was out there on the weekend, got some beautiful fish up to the mid-80s, which is great to see. So we're now seeing these flathead moving in and around the lake and into this shallow water, going to get back into the channel. So I think this weekend's perfect, particularly that latter part of Sunday into Monday when it starts to fine up, when we're going to see some great flathead getting caught. Got to remember, guys, that flathead rule is in as of the 1st of August, 5 duskies only, and none over 70 centimetres. So you just got to be aware of that and just sort of get updated with the latest regulations. A few ludricks still around as well in the channel, and of course a lot of trevally. But the other thing is, we're starting to get reports of brim and whiting on the flats, and I think this weekend, you know, if you can get one of those spots out of the wind, you will do quite well on particularly chew worms is probably my pick, or even moving around using some hawksbill prawns or some oily based baits. You've got to get out there and have a bit of a go, but I just think that tomorrow is going to be just a little bit too windy for you. Guys, we've got a few specials on this weekend, obviously, being the grand final weekend. We've got some Rayorex rods over there, normally $100, they're half price. We've got about 50 of them in total. They'll be all $50 a rod. So there's plenty of specials in basically in store at the moment. Squidgies in a big box over here, 3 for $20. And there's a few cashbacks that Dyer are doing as well. So we've got basically the Revelry reels at the moment where you'll get a Dyer $80 cashback credit if you basically buy one of these reels. And if you actually team it up with a zero rod, you actually get a further 50. So you'll actually save $130 off the combo. Some great things happening with Dyer. We've got some great in our specials. Come on the Knights, get out there and let's get this win that we so thoroughly deserve. I'll see you next Friday.